All right, so welcome back to Off the Cuff. I'm joined by my buddy Themgrir here, and I'm sure you guys read the title by now. We're going to be talking about Gundam today. Now, this is going to be kind of a newer series, or just like a new thing I'm going to be doing where at the end of each, or my apologies, after each episode, I want to do kind of one of these off the cuffs where I bring someone on every week and we just kind of discuss that particular topic. You can look at it as more like a debriefing or whatever you want to look at it as. But this week, we talked about Gundam, obviously, and the North American launch of Gundam Wing, and I kind of rambled on and on about that shit. So I figured there's no one else better. The only other person I think would be a good fit to bring on this video would be XGP. But I thought, why not bring my buddy Themgrir on? I wear his merch all the fucking time. I'm constantly sucking this guy's dick. I think that if... I'm over here just janking you off so hard. But Themgrir, if you want to introduce yourself, go ahead and fucking say hello to everybody.
Okay, now that you took yourself off me, hi everyone.
If I would have thrusted any harder, I'd hit the back of your fucking teeth. That's how hard I was going.
But yeah, no, I'm Themgrir. I've known Reb too long. Jesus.
We're going on what? 12 years now? Something like that? Maybe a little longer?
I think closer to 15.
Has it been 15 years now? Yeah, just about. Yeah. So.
God, we're old. Fuck this shit. Jesus.
Right?
But yeah, no. Fanatic of Gundam. Just about. I think the list of Gundam series that I haven't seen is much shorter than the list of ones that I have.
Yep. Now, if you were to. I'm going to just put you on the spot right away. If you were to pick a Gundam series, that would be your favorite. Which one would you pick? Well, I'll give you a chance to think about that for a second. I'll plug you just a little bit more here. If y'all do want to check Themgrir out, I will have his channel linked below. It's just youtube.com/Themgrir, but I'll have it linked below so you can go check him out, of course. But now that I've given you a couple extra seconds, you have to have a good answer now, or else
God. Okay.
you're never coming back on Off the Cuff. This is how fucking serious this shit is.
It's really hard. Okay. I immediately narrowed it down to 3, and I know that's a slight, but honestly, if I had to, I'd have to go with Wing. Just for the sole fact of Gundam Epion being probably my all-time favorite.
That's fair.
Gundam.
Now, would you say that that's more of like a nostalgia thing, or do you think? Because I personally, I have my own opinion on it, but I'm curious to think. Do you think it's a nostalgia thing, or do you think it still holds up?
Because I went through it again recently, and honestly, I still loved it just as much, and maybe that had to do a little bit with nostalgia.
Okay.
But like the art style alone, just the pacing of the story, how the characters are introduced. Sure, not all of it works. Sure, it's not the greatest plot, but hot damn, do they do a good job with it?
That's fair.
And I definitely love it. And then the other two that I narrowed it down to, obviously, would have been G Gundam.
I'm actually going through that at this moment. At the moment with the series.
Honestly, Iron-Blooded Orphans.
You know, Iron-Blooded Orphans, I fucking love, but I haven't finished it yet. I've seen season 1, and I've seen most of season 2, but I haven't finished it yet. So
yeah,
I hear it's one of the best Gundam series you can watch. I haven't had the chance to finish it.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
absolutely adored it. I both love and hated the ending.
I've heard that from a lot of people. I've heard that it's kind of a divisive ending.
Like, I loved it because it was a great ending. It was poignant. It was, nicely wrapped up with a bow, but there was heartbreak, and that made me hate it.
Well, you know what's funny is that's kind of the MO for a lot of Gundam series.
Oh, absolutely.
Doing research on this most recent video, the original creator of Gundam is like notorious for having like heartbreaking endings, and you're just like, ah, fuck, because like everyone dies. If you go back and watch Zeta Gundam, the whole ending with that, Camille basically
in a long time.
So good though, but Camille's basically a fucking vegetable by the ending of that. I mean, when you get into Double Zeta with Judah. Which, funny side tangent with that, Judah, Tim and I are always like, XGP and I are always like, Judah motherfucking Ashta. Just the way in Dynasty Warriors Gundam, he has this thing. He's like Judah Ashta. I'm like, this fucking Chad over here is like, I'm
Yeah,
motherfucking Judah Ashta. Holy fuck, I'm
I hated
awesome.
him, but I think I hated him because he exuded big dick energy, and
Yeah.
that made me jealous.
Very much so. And what's funny is that's like technically, I guess, considered like the least good of the original three
Yeah.
Universal Century, which I don't think is wrong. I don't think it's as bad as everyone likes to say it is. If you get into
No,
like
I,
a lot of that
I
shit,
enjoyed
but
Zeta and Double Zeta.
yep.
You know,
So
shout out to the Hyaku Shiki.
fuck yeah, Hayaku Shiki and what was Char's name? Oh, spoiler alert! I guess Char's name in Zeta.
Char Aznable's name in Zeta was Quattro Bajima.
That's right. Spoiler alert for a 30-year-old
And he
fucking
had
television series.
Yeah, and he had that like middle-aged, kind of almost pompish fro. Yeah, it was weird.
Oh man. Now, one of the things I thought was kind of interesting when I was researching Gundam this particular week was that I don't know if you actually knew this, but with Gundam, I guess originally the first series didn't actually do that well in Japan initially. And what had happened was it was originally, now I couldn't find a concrete fact on this, but I'm assuming this was the case. It was supposed to be a 51 episode series, but it only ended up having like 43, I think, something around there. I could be wrong. But it almost got canceled at episode 38 because the ratings were just like nothing. I think it's fucking hilarious that, and I'll tell you why in a second. Why? Because just clarity's sake, I haven't actually put the video out yet for this week's episode. We're shooting it ahead of time. Next week we're not going to do that. The video will come out first, then we'll do the off the cuff. But I think it's interesting that such a fucking iconic, at least even in Japan, or I would say even more than that. Like, when you think of giant robots, a lot of people initially go to the RX-78 and think of Amuro Ray's Gundam, and it's still so funny to think.
The face of the franchise.
Yeah. And I think it's so funny to think that it almost got canceled at episode 38 when it's considered such a fucking revolutionary piece of fucking media. And
God, like, when you think that initial Gundam and you think that RX-78 and that whole series, like that, I knew so many. Like, obviously you and I were big ones. X was a big one too, and like, fuck, I remember when I got into that and how many other people loved that. It's hard to imagine that it underperformed.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is the only reason it became popular was a couple of months after it had stopped airing. Bandai actually picked up the rights to make Gunpla. So it's because of the Gundam models that Gundam ever took off in Japan. Because I guess these things were so popular that it gave whoever was running the series at the time to start doing reruns. And then it was the weirdest shit where its initial run, not that many people gave a shit about, but in its reruns, it was like the top fucking TV show at the time. That's why there was such a big gap between Gundam's initial series and Zeta Gundam. Because originally they had no plans. They were like, this is it. This show fucking bombed and that's it. And just because of fucking Gundam model kits. That's the reason we have fucking Gundam now. So
love it.
Even if you don't like Gunpla, you have to respect it. Or you don't have to, fuck it, whatever. But you have to respect it a little bit for Gundam still being a thing.
I remember as a child, because I'm pretty sure Wing was the first one that I actually remember seeing. Like, I had recognized the original run, but I remember having to go back to the original run much later in my life. I think it was like, well, I say later, and here I am almost 20 years later. Like 13 or something is when I went back and watched the original one.
Yeah.
But by that time, I'd already watched Wing, and I remember one of my favorite toys. I had this, and this thing was a lot bigger than I remembered because I found it in the attic one day when I was helping out with my folks. And because I thought it was like standard action hero size. No, that thing was a good like 15 inches or more.
And that was, it was the huge RX-78.
No, it was the Wing Zero.
Oh, that's sick. Was it a
and it was the
original?
No, it was like an actual like giant like articulate figure.
Oh, that's
like
fucking sick.
Action figure, and it had the ability to transform into its like bird mode.
Oh, that's so sick. Oh my god.
And it was so great. And then I remember I had a box. I had a handful of other toys, but they were like the standard, like smaller action figures. And I had the RX. I think I remember showing you this box. It was the RX-78, but it came with all of the pieces for it, so I could transform its like lower half into that jet version.
Was it the one that was in the attic?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
were
yeah,
cleaning shit out of your guys' attic that
yeah,
one
yeah,
day?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you just showed
Yeah.
it to me before. Because there
It
was
had like
that, and
'cause it
then
had
the Rose Gundam. You had the gold
the
version, right?
golden rose
Yeah,
Gundam. There was a blue Zaku that I can't remember the specifics of it.
probably the goof or the
It
Golf.
was no, it wasn't the Golf. It was a
Oh.
much bigger one, and like one of the weapons that it came with was like this like roped mine sword thing.
Did it have? Did the Zaku have spikes and shit on it?
It had a much larger spike than normal. It had shoulder spikes on both. Its
I
shoulders also had 3 round, almost jet-looking holes.
I want to say that's
Its
Rambo
legs were
Rowell's.
fatter.
I want to say that's
You
Rambo
know, I like
Rowell's.
it.
And
I have to look it up now.
you know what's sad is I just realized I already shot the Gundam video. I'm in the process of editing. That's going to come out soon. You'll see that before you see this, of course. But X and I have this fucking reoccurring joke with Rambo Rowell from the original series because this
Yeah.
motherfucker jumps out a window, blows himself. He laughs at everyone, jumps out a window, blows himself up, and Amuro like finds him at like a diner later, just drinking and laughing like And I just realized I didn't put him in the fucking video. I've been trying to find an excuse
What?
to make. Now I'm still in the process of editing. Maybe I'll find a way to sneak in a bunch of fucking Dynasty Warriors Gundam references. But like,
Fucking better.
I've been like trying to find a way to make a video about Gundam for almost a year now. I finally do, and I completely miss my opportunity to put fucking Ramble Rowell and fucking any sort of Dynasty Warriors Gundam clips. Again, I still haven't finished editing it yet, so we'll see what happens then.
Man, I can't find it. I don't remember the specific name of it. Yeah, there was quite a few of them, but I can't believe you missed all that Rambo Row stuff.
I know. I'm a little
In
disappointed
the
myself.
middle of a fight, you forgot how to fight.
In the middle of a video, I forgot how to make a video. Oh, damn it. I might just cut that and put that at the end of the video.
Oh, you
Now.
know what? Side note, it's Reb's fault that I got so into the Gunpla model building.
You want to tell them the story for that?
Yeah, so several years ago, I think this was like my 29th or my 30th birthday.
It was right after I came back from the army, I think.
Probably my 30th birthday then.
Yeah.
That's so bright for my eyes. I gotta turn that down. But he bought me Char Aznable's custom Zaku 2 model kit, and it was a high grade, and it was a one and
1/144th, probably.
Yeah, it was a 1 and 1/44th. And hot damn, I built that thing in 4 hours flat.
That's awesome.
Like, I was like, I'll start this. I probably won't finish it. 4 hours later, I'm like, oh, my back hurts, but damn, this thing looked great.
You're welcome.
And-
You're welcome for that, by the way.
And since then, I have built that, the Dark Rider, the German team's Gundam from G Gundam,
Good old Schwartz
Bruters Gundam, the Master Gundam with Fyaku Shiki, Epion, Wing Zero, the series version, not the movie version.
Yeah.
Death Scythe, Heavy Arms. God, I know there's one I'm missing.
And you know what's funny? I even brought this up in the video at the very beginning. You know how I have my Master Grade Tall Geese, and it's literally like 3 things that are
An
gone.
arm and a torso with a head. That's it.
See,
I've seen it.
I told you, everybody, it's an actual fucking reoccurring joke. So I'm sure there's gonna be someone that's like, oh, it's not really a joke. Like, I've literally had that thing since like my first year of the army, because I was like, oh, I want to start doing custom builds, and I've literally been holding on to it for 7 years. And
I remember before you started building it, you were like, you know, if you want it, you can have it.
I
You'll
did.
probably build it. And I'm like, oh, I absolutely know that I would, but I think you should.
Yep.
And since then you at least started.
I've started it. You're right, and it's. I told myself I wouldn't buy any more kits until after I finished the Tall Geese one. So I figure once I finish Tall Geese, I'll get like a Leo or something fucking stupid, and then spend another 10 years.
When you finish that, we'll go. I can't even remember the name of the place, but that place that we went when I bought Schwartz.
Oh yeah, the little
Gundam
mini
and the Master Shaku.
Yeah, the little mini Comic-Con place up in Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go there and we'll buy some kits.
Fuck yes.
And then you know what I'll do? I will force you. We'll spend the day together and we'll both build one of our new kits.
That'd be cool.
And we won't stop hanging out until we finish the kit.
I'll hold you to it. I will hold you to that. If y'all want to see us live stream
absolutely.
it, let me know in the comments.
Oh, I'd be down to live stream. That'd be
fun.
Fucking live stream.
It would. It would be. But
I'd fucking do it.
It'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. We'll have to do custom builds on that shit. Well, let me ask you this: have you ever thought about doing a custom build on any of your Gundam models? Because if you go online, there's some people that do some fucking crazy shit.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it. I would definitely love to try that.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of started going into that because when I did Wing Zero, that was the first one that I actually had like the articulate pen set.
Yeah.
So that you could do things like that, or at least minor things like that. Like I could make all the outlines on everything. So I did that. I took the black outline and I literally outlined everything on Fyakushiki and Wing Zero when I built those two, and it made them look nice. And there was a few things like I could take like this gray marker and kind of give it like some of the white parts like almost a more darker metal look.
Oh, that's sick.
So I kind of did a little bit, but I would love to get more into like the, breaking pieces off and giving them battle damage and things like that, or taking like some chicken wire and some of that cotton fabric, so it looks like there's smoke coming out of it, and have it posed.
That would be sick.
I already told my wife when we move into a house, like I want to get a case, and that's where I'm going to put all my Gundams. And then I'll have another case that's off camera from my streaming area that has all of my dirty, degenerate, perverted hentai statues.
We might have to do a full on another off the cuff just on that alone. But I mean, this is my channel. At some point, there's going to be some sort of
amount of them.
We'll just do that'll be the off the cuff for that one. We'll just do a room tour of your place. Like, oh, here
they are.
Here are all of them.
This one you can remove her vagina and give her a penis. There you go. You got Foodie Mama right there.
Good old Foodie Mommy. I don't know what my next video. Well, I mean, I know what my next one's gonna be. My next couple videos, but I don't know when I'm gonna be having another risque topic. I've got I'll have to show you next time you're over. Spoiler alert, I've had to basically quarantine for this past week and a half. You can probably guess why, but I've gone through.
Seen him in well over a week.
Yeah. So you've had stuff going on in your life, unfortunately. I'm sure if you watch Themgrir stream, you probably know what's happened to him.
Yesterday was my first day back since.
Congratulations.
Almost breaking my foot.
There you go. Do you want to tell him that story? I don't know if you're comfortable doing that or not.
I don't care.
You're more than welcome to. I was there for this, by the way. I got to see it firsthand. And
Reb and I were at the gym,
Yep.
like we do currently 3 times a week.
Yep.
And we're at the.
So I was showing off with the tank tops
lower.
today.
Yeah, that's why we're like
my skinny ass in a tank top.
We've been working hard for this.
Oh!
Anyways,
Everyone's
now
just
that we've
looking
showed off a bit.
Yeah.
See, what I'm jealous about you is sure I might be a little bit bulkier, but you got more definition than I do. Mine just looks like.
Yeah, but you can already see it.
I guess
right
I
there,
see it now.
I
got a little bit there, and you can kind of see a little, not on camera in this lighting, but no, I'm a little jealous about that.
Trust me, you look good in a tank top. He does not look like a chopstick walking around in a tank. Again, I'm blowing him again, of course. I gotta stop blowing you.
All right, now that we've blown each other, a little
my face is so white right now from.
See, I wish I had more light because this yellow light is really fucking annoying. Hold on, give me 1 second, then I'll get into the story.
No, take your time. While he's doing that, I'll probably plug. Next week's video is going to be on the statistics of a certain Nickelodeon show. And when I tell you that I'm just plugging my next episode while you were doing that. when I tell you I've spent so much fucking time watching this one goddamn show and have discovered.
What show is it? What show is it?
Should I? Okay.
I really wanted to know last night because you guys were all talking about it, but I didn't want to ruin it for everybody else, but I really want to know.
I'm trying to decide if I want to just say it here and now. My. Because okay, here's the thing: is Tim. I'm gonna text it to you because Tim doesn't want to know,
right,
and
that's fine.
Tim's coming on the off the cuff for that one, and he wants to go into it blind. So I'll text it to you, and we can talk about it. But you just can't say the name of it on camera.
Okay,
if that's
fine,
okay.
That's fine.
Now, what I'm doing with this episode, I can say what I'm doing. I'm literally going through and watching the episodes, right? And what I'm doing is I'm literally categorizing and cataloging literally everything about the show. Every move that's made, every win, loss, the team ratios of winning, male versus female ratios of winning, the chances of them winning prizes, that literally everything. By the ending of this video, you will literally know every single statistic from the show's beginning to the end. It has been so much goddamn work.
Dude, you just made me have like a total brain meltdown.
Right.
I remember, like, I had forgotten about this show.
Yep.
And now as I'm going through and looking at pictures, I'm like, oh my God, I remember this show.
Oh, and just wait. It's, again, I'm almost done collecting the information on this show and the data on it. And then after this particular show, I can say the name of the other one I'm going to do. I'm going to be doing Nickelodeon Guts after that.
Yeah.
That probably is not going to come out for about a month because these videos have taken so much time because I have to meticulously go through. I have a spreadsheet with 150 lines of data that I can go through that I'm literally inputting. And then at the very ending of it, then I'm going to do all the mathematical calculations, go through all of it, and I still got to make graphics, and I still got to edit, shoot, do all that shit. So it's been a monumental project. But after this surprise video, then I'm going to be doing Guts, but that's not come out for a month after that. And then I'll probably do Double Dare after that at some point as well too. But I have to go through and watch all of those as well. So, but that's the one that I'm going to be doing. That there was a reason why I can't say because I promised X that I wouldn't fucking say what it was. But now that you know, it's been a lot of fun. So that'll be coming out, for the love of God, hopefully next week, as long as I don't hit a snag or something along those lines. So definitely look forward to that. X will be on for the off the cuff after that one. And then the week after that, I'm doing an Attack on Titan video comparing Attack on Titan regular and Attack on Titan Junior High. And Rex Day will be on for that one. And we might have Themgrir on again after that. So we'll of course, we'll see. And but again, so get away from my plugging bullshit. Themgrir, how the fuck did you break your foot?
So
or almost. My apologies. Almost.
Reb and I were at the gym. You know, getting
now that I put you on the spot,
doing our thing, getting healthy.
The best part is that it was leg day.
Yeah, it was leg day.
Yeah, so it already wasn't a great day.
Or the lower leg press, the one where you kind of sit on the ground and just and you push your legs up like that. And Reb's gonna go first, so I go on one side. We start grabbing weights to put on there, and he's like, "All right, put on 245s." I'm like, "All right, 245s." I get the first one on there. All right. I go and grab the next one, and it just like kind of slips out of my hand and just goes straight on my foot.
Yep, I watched it just leave his hands, and I was like,
"Here's the best part: like I didn't even react.
Yeah,
like, I was just like, fuck.
Yep.
What's up, dude? I think I broke my foot."
I was like, "What?"
Like, yeah, it really, really hurts.
Yeah, so I didn't see it actually connect with his leg or his foot. I thought he just dropped it on the ground, and I was getting ready to give him shit and be like, "Oh, weight foul, or gym foul on that." But then the look on your, because like you didn't react, but you could see that look on your face of, shit, just kind of like
I think you had mentioned that like it looked like the color drained from my face.
Yeah, like it's kind of like if you were around and you saw like a train wreck and you were like this close from it, but you didn't get hit. That's the face that I saw. Oh shit. But continue your story.
Like, so of course I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, hold up. I at least know enough where it's like, all right, I'll try to wiggle my toes. Can I wiggle my toes? Can I feel that? All right, I can feel them. All right, I can wiggle them. All right, maybe it's not broken, but holy fuck, like it hurt. Like, I, it's weird to try to quantify my pain tolerance because some things, no reaction. Then like the littlest things, it's like, ow, you know? So it's hard, but it's like I remember feeling really sick, like my stomach churned. I felt like I was gonna throw up. I felt instantly sweaty and flushed. I was like, fuck, this hurts. But yeah, that was fun. So of course, by the time we get home, we decided like, all right, let's go see if we can get an ice pack. Like, oh, let's leave. Yeah. So we finally leave,
And they didn't have
and
ice packs, by the way.
yeah, no, like, what kind of fucking gym doesn't have like an ice pack and like an emergency kit or something?
Yeah.
And
I
so
think
we get home.
actually, the gym did have an emergency kit. They had a Band-Aid. A Band-Aid.
Yeah, what the fuck am I gonna do with a
A Band-Aid.
Band-Aid?
So, like, I was
Oh,
like,
this is a video game. If I pick that up, I get 5% of my health back.
yeah, but you still, like, have the limb blown off, like, fall out.
Right?
Still can't
Yeah,
fucking
no,
use
it's
it.
stupid. So of course we get home and by then it's still throbbing, it still hurts, but I don't think it's broken. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I ice it a bit, it's fine. And then it's about 11:30, trying to go to bed. I'm icing it. I take the ice off, and then suddenly it hurts way more than it had any point up to that point. And so I yell at my wife, was working in the other room, and she's like, I don't think I can wait till tomorrow to go to urgent care because for whatever fucking reason, urgent care is all closed at 8 o'clock, which is stupid, but I guess I get it. Whatever. And so we went to the closest hospital, which
Here's where the fun begins.
fuck, fuck that. Like, I'm not gonna put them on blast and give the name, but fuck that hospital. And then, oh, did I tell you? You remember Skylar, my buddy
Yeah.
from like, yeah.
Yeah.
He called me a few days later after that happened. He had tore his Achilles.
You know what's crazy is I remember when we got to the gym that day, I had mentioned because I was feeling like anxious and like I
Same.
felt bad.
We talked about that.
Yep. I literally was like,
that we
dude.
both had a bad feeling.
Yep. And we were talking about, I'm like, I don't know what it is. Why? What's because everything's going great.
Right?
And then we were like, well,
We're like, ah, fuck it. Maybe nothing's gonna happen. Maybe we're just being weird. And then that happened. It's like this had to have been our bad feeling.
I 100%
I
agree.
know, like I know it's kind of dumb to draw conclusions like that.
Right, because it's impossible to quantify it, but at the same time, it's a little too coincidental.
Very coincidental. Like we were both, because you brought it up, and I was like, man, it's really weird that you bring that up because that's how I've been feeling today. And it was just like I remember us saying like that was just really weird that we were both just feeling a sense of dread.
And you know what's interesting? I've thought about it since it happened. I was like, I wonder if you would have gone first on the leg press if I would have ended up dropping the plate on my foot.
Right? It's weird to think about, like, maybe like because there's a branch of the timeline where it's like, oh, I'll take the first set.
Because I remember,
and then you do it.
Right, because I remember sitting there when we first got to the press, because we had both just finished our other exercises, and we were gonna have to take turns here. I remember us both being quiet when we got to the leg press.
Right, like usually we're always chatting it up, but we were both unnaturally quiet.
Yeah, and then I was like, I'll go first. And then
it's just weird. I don't. Yeah, and it was horrible because when it hit my foot, it like obviously it landed on its side, so it kind of rolled off and it dinged my other side because I still have the bruise on my opposite leg's ankle.
Fuck.
But no, so like we go to the hospital, and this hospital is fucking horrible. And I think it was a 3-hour wait before they brought in this like portable X-ray machine to take X-rays. And then they're like, okay, well, they come back in with the results. It's not even a doctor, it's a nurse because the doctor's so busy. And
you just got hit with so much bad luck that day.
Yeah, right. And so they're basically like, all right, the bones and ligaments look fine, bruised but fine. But now the doctor's worried that your foot might have been dislocated from your ankle, so they want to get a CT scan. I'm like, okay, so by this point, Kayla had already been there for 8 hours.
Yep. Because you had texted me at midnight saying that you were going in. So.
Yep. And so by what, like 6 or 7 ish in the morning, she's like, "All
Yep.
right, well, I gotta go check on the dogs." She went and checked on the dogs, and I mean, she'd been there all night too. So I was like, just try to get some sleep, you know.
Right.
And that's when I remember texting you around that time. So I think I get into a new room at about 10 o'clock in the morning. By this time, I've been there since midnight. And then from there, they take me to the CT scan and put me back in that new room, and it's like 10:20 by the time I'm done with the CT scan and in this new room. And from there, I'm thinking, okay, this shouldn't be much longer. So I, let Nick know, and he drops by for a bit, and after an hour and a half or almost 2 hours, he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go run some errands. All right, cool, go
So
run some errands. No worries. Sorry about doing this.
so here's the funny part. I went down there and everything online and everything that I had seen said that I was going to be able to come see him up in his room.
Hmm.
So that didn't happen.
Nope.
What ended up happening? I get there and I go to the emergency side because you told me which side he was on, whatever. I go up front and the guy is straight up like, "Oh no, you're gonna have to go around to the other side of the complete other side of this hospital. The hospital's pretty big." And I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever, no big deal. I'm a pretty easygoing guy in real life, so it's like I'm not gonna step on this guy's toes or whatever, pun intended. So I go around to the other side of the building, and I wait in like a COVID line because you have to like get checked and whatnot before you go in. So I'm standing there and I'm waiting, and it's a big ass line. If I remember to, I'll put the picture up because I actually took a picture and sent it to him. Like, hey, I'm in line to come see you, and I had brought like a little bit of food. And this is why I felt really bad for you because I had actually brought like a smoothie and like that candy bar. And fucking, I get up there and I'm talking to the front lady. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm looking for, I won't say your last name on here, but I go up there and I ask the name. And they're like, we don't have that name here. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I literally am just talking to him.
No
And
Themgrir here.
yeah, and there's no Themgrir here. So I give them another name to see if maybe that'll work too. And they're like, no, we don't have records. So I literally call him. I'm like, hey, are you actually here? And you were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, I was like,
I'm
what?
literally sitting here. And so I tell the lady, and the lady has no idea. So I'm like, okay, let me go back around to the other side and see what's going on. I walk up to the same people. The same guy was there, and he didn't make eye contact this time when I walked up. I was like, oh, okay.
Because he knew he fucked up. He knew
He knew he fucked
he
up.
fucked up.
Yep. The other guy starts talking to me, and as I'm talking to the other guy, I'm like, yeah, I'm just here to see my buddy. Make sure he's okay. And then, without missing a beat, the guy had already looked him up, and was like, oh yeah, he's in this room, but he can't take guests right now. I'm like, okay, I don't know why you didn't.
Yeah, because by this time they had me in this room, and this room was huge, and there was literally at one point a guy sitting next to me and no curtain between us, and then a lady sitting maybe 4 or 5 feet away with a curtain, but then there's a lady sitting next to her, and then 2 more next to them, and then 2 more at the end of the room.
Yep.
So there was a shit ton of people in there.
Yep. And at that point, that sounds like I'll be back later. So.
Yeah. So what? You came back. Fuck, I don't even remember what time I got out of there. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon by the time I got out.
Yeah, I think it was 3, closer to 4, because I came back around 1:32 ish.
Yeah.
Because I know I was sitting there for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, because you were sitting there for almost 2 hours before I finally got out.
Right. So they weren't letting people into the actual emergency side of the room. They just weren't letting people in. So when I came back that last time, I literally just walked straight in. They didn't even say anything to me at that point. I just walked straight in and went and sat down. Like, I saw the ladies at the front desk, and they had seen me a couple of times. We kind of locked eyes, and I just went and sat down. I was like, no, I'm not leaving now.
So,
I'm gonna wait.
I was effectively there,
18
18 hours.
Yeah.
And that pissed me off so much. Because, it was hilarious, because while I was sitting in that room, I remember hearing the nurse from across the room yelling to somebody on the phone. And the only reason that I knew it was about me is because I heard my last name. And then I heard...
Pretty big giveaway.
He's been here for 16 hours. Like, what the hell's going on? And finally, I would say about 30 minutes before I got out, I went up to the nurse's station again. I was like, look, you already told me that it's not broken. You already told me it's not dislocated. Why the fuck am I still here?
Right.
I want to go.
And you know what's so funny and kind of sad? I had the best joke because you know I'm kind of an asshole. I had the best joke lined up for when I was gonna see you, but then I saw you hobble it because they didn't even send you to the right area when they finally left. You had to come back in and find me out there, and I see him fucking wobble up in his cane, and this look of just like that's the face. Just
yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead at this point. Like I'd hardly slept. I hadn't eaten.
I was gonna be like, I was literally gonna look at his foot and be like, look, man, if you didn't want to go to the gym tomorrow, all you to do is just tell me. And I was gonna do that, and like I literally, I mean, I was a second away from it. I was gonna say it anyway, and I was seriously gonna say it anyway, and then I was like, I felt down in my pant pocket, and I remembered, oh yeah, I have the protein bar here. And instead, I just kind of handed it to him. Yeah, we left. I was like, I felt so bad.
This like pretty much melted chocolate, protein bar, and you're like, your man, I brought you a snack.
Yeah, but you fucking scarfed that thing down in like a second. Yeah. And then I was just like, oh, fuck this guy. This poor guy.
It was not a fun time. It was a very not fun time.
I mean, I had a pretty decent time. I got to meet the walrus man who sat there, and this guy walked in his and he like sat down. And like he didn't wear a mask. Like you had to wear a mask when you go in there. And he kind of like had it down, and he had these like tusk.
He had a chin mask on.
Yeah, like it was basically a chin mask. And he had these like tusk fucking
handlebar mustache.
No, well, no, he didn't have a mustache. But he had like a fucking weird goatee thing. But he had like tusk piercings that came down to here. And this guy looked like he weighed at least 300-400 pounds. Like I'm not even like trying to be funny. Like he probably weighed about that much. And he sat there like, and he was like sitting on his phone. And every time
is he letting out burps or farts? I can't.
I couldn't either. And that was the thing. Like, he was sitting maybe from like me to where the bed's at, so he was like super close. And he was looking at his phone. He's like, I was just like, just trying not to laugh because I'm like, clearly the guy's here because he's like sick or he's hurt or something. So I'm not trying to laugh, but I'm just sitting there like. I'm like, this fucking guy's making it so hard to not fucking say something right now. And not even to be mean to him. I wasn't going to tell him to shut up. I was having a good time. But I was just like, well, as much of a good time at the hospital as you can.
Yeah, as you can. Yeah, as one can have at the hospital.
Right. And again, I don't know the guy's story, so I didn't want to like talk too much shit. But I was just like, you look like a walrus and you sound like a walrus. Like the man was literally. Have you ever seen Tusk?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of what that reminds me of. It reminds me of fucking Tusk.
That's great.
If he didn't lose his like legs and arms, like he looked like the guy he looked like fucking what's his name from Tusk. Not Johnny Depp.
I can't remember his name either. Yeah. Johnny Depp's character was great in that.
Yeah, so Gundam, you know.
Yeah, Gundam.
What the off the cuff was about. But you know, I'm glad though that your foot's better for the most part.
It's still all of my toes are still very bruised.
Right.
It's itchy now because it's all scabbed over where the weight actually hit my foot, and thank God the weight hit my foot where it did, because if it was any lower, I would have broke all of my toes.
And that's not a joke either. Like I saw his foot, and I mean, a fucking micrometer lower, it would have fucked. Like this foot probably would have been like
it hit up near where my leg hits my foot, so it was at the top of the foot, like pretty much like right at the top of where the arch is,
where the fatty point is.
So like it hit right on that bone.
Yeah,
right where those ligaments are. But yeah, no, it's better now. Like I still get a little,
which is
bit
good
of a tingly feeling when I walk too much.
Yeah,
but you know, I can put all my weight on it. I can walk. I don't have to limp anymore. Oh, that's great. But now my back fucking hurts. God.
Well, that's the catch-22, right? You have to heal your back up. I'm sorry, you have to heal your foot up, so you have to sit down or lay down, and that's your only option at that point. And it's like, well, my lower back's gonna die now.
It sucked because that next week, I had to go to work, so those first 2 days I was still walking with my cane. So of course I'm jerked up to one side, and it's like, ah.
That's right, because that's when you had started going back to the actual office, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but no, on Monday I get to just sit here at this computer and work instead.
Hell yeah.
I love it. Yeah, we have a week on, week off right now.
No, I think that's great, honestly.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So I actually did want to talk about a Gundam related topic.
Yeah.
Um, Gundam Evolution. What is your
Mm.
thoughts? Now, I know we've talked about it a little bit offhand and off camera and whatnot, but as a Gundam fan, I will say my personal opinion, I'm fucking excited for this thing. I know
Oh, absolutely.
it's definitely gonna have gotcha mechanics. I'm not fucking stupid. It's
Mm-hmm.
Bondi, but
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how much I love Overwatch. I'm a big Overwatch player. I'm not very
Yeah.
good at it, but I do enjoy it. And the idea of even if it's literally just a reskin of Overwatch, but with Gundam shit, I'm hyped. I'm hyped as fuck. I've got my own reservations about it for sure, which we'll get into. But I want to know, what do you kind of think overall? Do you think that there is a good approach to the game? Do you think that this has some merit and value to it? Or do you think that it's just not gonna really live up to your expectation? What's
You
kind of your
know,
thought process with it?
just judging by that one trailer that I saw, which wasn't a whole lot, I do have reservations. One, because it's a Gundam game, but
Right,
so
and
far all of the characters introduced, except what, one or two, aren't technically Gundams.
there's
They're all
like
mobile
three.
suits.
Yeah, there's like three
Yeah, they're
Gundams.
Barbados, the
Yep,
RX-78, and
Turn a Gundam.
yeah, Turn A Gundam.
And Turn a Gundam they haven't even shown yet.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
strictly been a. They just said that it's going to be a part of the initial roster.
Like I know because it's gonna be like an Overwatch style game. Even just looking at the trailer, you can tell, and that's kind of what they're marketing it as
Yep.
too. Which, hey, that's great, but I know a lot of people will probably be hesitant because anytime that a game markets itself as, hey, we're like this game,
It's going to bring haters, of course.
yeah, it already is gonna cause a division because like obviously the people that don't like the game are gonna be like, oh well, fuck that, you're just copying Overwatch. This is gonna suck too. But then you have like the Overwatch diehards, and they're just gonna be like, oh, you're fucking copying my favorite game. Fuck you.
I won't lie to you. I saw the trailer and I just immediately got excited because I couldn't think
Same.
it like the idea like because Overwatch is already like a kind of a fast paced game as it is.
Yeah, I'm
Sure, you
honestly like I'm not even huge into like first person shooters,
same.
but since playing on like PC, I've really grown into them, and honestly, I really love playing Overwatch. It's really fun. I'm not
Yep.
great at it either, but
Yep.
fuck it, I have fun, especially like when you and I play together, or we party up with like Becker or anything. Like,
Yep.
oh man, like I don't even care if we lose. It's just fun because we're all playing together.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of one of the core mechanics that I think can really work with this game
Oh yeah.
because they're pushing it hard as an esports game. So that means there's going to be support for it.
Oh yeah.
And I think being able to buddy up with like a bunch of your friends to play this game, I think is going to be perfect. X has already stated that he wants to play it. So we've already got three right there.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I am worried though because it is going to be like an Overwatch kind of thing.
Yep.
I know that they're not going to have a shit ton of characters
Yeah,
from
yeah.
their plethora, but man, do I
And
really hope we
honestly,
get some better characters
same.
because right now that roster of
It's pretty weak.
characters is, yeah, it's weak to me.
It's
So
very weak.
that would be my reservation about it is the roster. So like even if we're going to be just like Overwatch, where we're going to have what, between 16 and 24 characters.
You talking
We've
like total, like at the end of everything, or
Yeah,
at
like
the launch?
total.
Yeah,
Total.
that I think is honestly kind of a huge misstep. Like, okay, yeah, we need the gun cannon and stuff like that for, to have different variety and whatnot. But I mean, three Gundams and we've got 16 starting off. That's to me, that's where I have the biggest reservation. One is how long is this game going to last? How often are we going to get new mobile suits? Because if it's just going to be like one per year or something like that, okay, great, we might get Death Scythe, and that's cool, but how long
Bitch,
are we going to
please.
have to
We're
wait
getting
for that?
Appion, and you know it.
We are. No, we absolutely. Well, okay, that's another surprising thing with this is no Gundam Wing. And I understand
haven't seen any Gundam.
right.
So far, other than Turn A Gundam and Barbados, all we've seen is like
Mobile Suit
UC
Gundam.
Century from the 80s.
Yep. And that's fine if they want to do that, but because they brought Barbados and Turn A Gundam, I'm genuinely surprised they don't have G Gundam or
Right?
fucking Oh, that okay. That's a whole other thing in of itself. Like,
Shit, man,
why?
there's your fun like
Yeah, I was
close
just
range
thinking about
fighters.
it. I don't actually understand why they didn't just make this with G Gundam in mind, because G Gundam is the whole arena style tournament. Again, it's one on one, but you could stretch that and make it about like, oh, the next Gundam fight or some shit like that, and make it a battle royale thing. So you could have 5 Gundams. You could literally center the entire game just around like G Gundam characters, and you could fill up the entire roster with different roles. Bolt Gundam could be the tank. You got Dragon Gundam could be your fucking offense. You could, if you need to have a medic, Rose Gundam, I guess. Maxter would be DPS, and G Gundam
Yeah.
or God Gundam or Burning Gundam could be DPS as well. Like I think the one thing that's going to make or break this game is the roster. If
Yeah.
how soon we're going to get new characters, because if we're going to be stuck with the gun cannon and shit like that for a year, I mean, I'll play it for sure when it comes out, but
Oh, yeah.
if we're not going to be getting other Gundams, I just don't
I
see this thing lasting that long.
and like part of me wishes like, oh, just like give us like 50 or 60 characters, but I realize that that would be a balancing nightmare.
I think I agree. If it was like my counterpoint to that would be like King of Fighters, but the problem with that's a fighting game, and with this one, it's more of like an arena based fucking combat thing, like Unreal Tournament and shit like that, or Unreal Championship.
I feel like that would
So
make it a little easier to balance because then you could just like baseline like, all right, all the defending heroes, all of the
yep,
offense heroes, all of the support heroes, here are their baseline stats, and then maybe from there, like, okay, now we're gonna tweak them based on like
yep,
what they are. Like, oh, obviously God Gundam over here might get a little bit higher attack and a little bit higher speed because it's a DPS,
mm-hmm,
whereas Rose Gundam might get a little bit more speed and a little bit more defense or
right,
something like it wouldn't be terribly hard because they could give everyone the baseline so that it'd be like the basic like balance, and
mm-hmm.
then from there just fucking let us play it and then we'll figure it out from there. Well, I don't even care if we start off and like, oh yeah, we'll give you those 50 some odd characters, but it's gonna come out and there's gonna be OP ones. I don't care.
That's
I will
fine,
get wrecked by those OP ones. I will play as those OP ones and wreck with them
right,
until you balance it out. That's fine.
mm-hmm.
We will work it out together. Just give me what I want.
Right, right. Now, do you think that companies, that actually brings up an interesting question. I was just thinking about that. Do you think companies are intentionally like afraid to release things like that? Like, I'm thinking, like, think back to like the mindset of like, you're a big fighting game person.
Oh yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate, or even Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We'll go further back, and how broken
Oh
MVC
god.
2 was. But
It was
here's the
so
thing with that.
broken.
Here's the thing with that though. We had fun figuring all that shit out. And what made things interesting is after that fact, fighting games now, a lot of times they'll come out broken and it'll slowly be fixed over time.
Yeah.
You get a fighting game anticipating it to be broken as fuck, but that's where a lot of the fun comes into it. Because you can learn
Oh yeah.
toss ups, mix ups, all sorts of shit like that because of it. And I feel like, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think companies are too afraid to put an unbalanced game out? Now, I'm not talking about broken, like Bethesda broken, where fucking
No.
characters are falling through the map and shit. I'm talking about like
I
overpowered or underpowered. Do you think
I
companies are
think
too afraid about that?
I think they are a little bit. Just in the sense that, and I know you and I have had conversations about this before, especially with where Capcom has gone with their fighting games and the fighting game community and everything.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's true.
some of the bigger names in the fighting game community, and this isn't specific names, just like big names, much like like Justin Wong or Daigo Urmahuma, or I can't even pronounce his last name. Mike
Oil
G,
King,
who was a famous
Mike G, yep.
Tager
Fatality.
player. Yeah, like just big names like that. I feel like fighting game community and fighting games in general has gotten so big to the point where these big name fighting game stars have much more clout in the community, to the point where they can almost sway how a company puts out a fighting game and which characters are powerful and which characters aren't powerful.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Or what characters make it in, period.
exactly. Like, and sure, I don't have any fucking solid evidence right off the top of my head, but I remember a lot of different stories and different things coming out when what's his face took over Capcom fighting.
Oh, I can give you I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Talking
yeah,
about
yeah, yeah, yeah,
NBCI. I can actually give
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
an example. I think it was Chris G. I could be wrong on who it was, but the only reason Spencer even made it into NBCI was because they specifically wanted him in there, and because basically NBCI for the most part, the roster was basically ported over from Ultimate into
What
that
about
game.
fucking X-Men? What what really pissed me off? No Doom.
Yeah,
No Doom. You
no,
didn't put Doom in there. What
no.
the hell?
No, no Doom, no Wolverine, and again, I would be, and also again, still no Daredevil. I mean, like that to
Right.
me, like one of my favorite Marvel superheroes of all time, doesn't fucking get in. Like
Can
I,
can can, can we just like complete off tangent? I love, and I hope that cause so far I'm pretty sure the only source that I found it from was a less than reputable source, but there's lots of rumors about Charlie Cox being rehired as Daredevil for the MCU.
we might,
If
yeah, we
if that's
might.
the case, if that is the case, if that is
So
true, I am so fucking happy about that
now
because he did so damn
yep.
good.
Now I do have a couple caveats with that.
Mm.
Charlie Cox coming back, 100%.
Oh yeah.
I think if they brought anybody else back, I'd be a little pissed. They would have an uphill battle to. Well, I wouldn't be pissed. They would have an uphill
Specifically the
battle.
guy that played Danny Rand.
Yes. Oof.
Specifically.
Oof.
I
That
didn't mind Jessica Jones too much. I still haven't watched the second season, but I
I
did
didn't.
really enjoy the first.
I did. I thought Jessica Jones season 1 was great. I liked Luke Cage season 1
I
until
really liked Luke Cage season 1 too.
fucking Cop, or was it Diamond Head or
Whatever. Yeah.
so that was another slight tangent with that, and then I'll get to my caveat. And then we'll circle back to Gundam because this is a whole
right.
nother off the cuff we could be talking about.
Yeah.
But there was an old meme on my when I used to stream all the time. So the OGs, Echo Squad and all that shit. But I would scream it, but C's taking a nap right now, so I'm not gonna scream
Hey,
it.
we love everyone's taking
Right? Yeah, well, it's one of those days. But we used to have a meme where it was pulling a diamond or Copperhead or Diamond Head, whatever the main villain of Luke Cage season 1's name was. It's called pulling a Diamond Head. We'll call him Diamondback, whatever for now. It's where you build up a villain so much to be this menacing, scary person, and they built him up really well for like 3 episodes. And then he shows up, and it's the dumbest looking fucking costume I've ever seen. And again, it's somewhat accurate to the comic book. I'll give it that.
Oh yeah, no,
but
absolutely.
it's one of the few times I'm like, ooh, they should have deviated. But here's the best part. It's not just that they look like it and it looks stupid. It's how well they sell it, because the guy sells it so fucking well. He's like, oh, I'm not, and everyone's like they're so scared, but he looks so stupid.
This whole man's career.
Yeah, he looks so stupid that you shouldn't take it seriously. That's how bad he looks. He looks so dumb, but everyone sells it so fucking well. And we called it pulling a Diamond Head or a Copperhead, whatever his fucking name was. I'm not even going to get to that fucking abomination that was Iron Fist. I stopped watching at the episode where the one dude threw him off the second story. I was like, okay, I'm done. This sucks. He's supposed to be fucking Iron Fist, and he's getting his ass beat in every episode. But
I actually made it through the whole thing, and
you're a better man than I am.
I am so glad that I have literally forgotten everything about it.
And
I will say that I did enjoy the Defenders. They
Defenders
did
was
a good
okay.
job with the Defenders. I like the Defenders.
Defenders was okay.
Good.
I think Defenders could have been better, but I didn't think it was bad for what it
absolutely.
was. I think going into season 2, Defenders would have been really good. Now, to go back to Charlie Cox, my only caveat is I think it should be a Hulu show, not put it on Disney Plus, because Hulu's owned by Disney. Because my worry with it is I'm okay with Daredevil being in the MCU. My worry though is that they're going to tone down the violence. They're going to make it too PG-13-ish, and that's fine, to a certain degree. But I like Daredevil being gritty. I like it being, in Hell's Kitchen, and it with I don't want to bring the whole with the comics and whatnot, because every interpretation is different and whatnot. I get that, but I like it being a little bit dirtier and a little bit bloodier and messier. I'm okay with Vincent D'Onofrio being Kingpin and coming into the MCU. I'm okay with Daredevil doing that as well. But if you're gonna put them in Hulu, you need to have the hard R. That'd be like bringing Punisher in now and putting it on Disney Plus. Again, I think it could work with a lot of the movies. That's fine. That's if, Marvel sticks around at this point.
Yeah.
But I think Punisher, Daredevil, all of them would be well better off on Hulu. Give them a hard R. Have them have their deep, dark, gritty stories. That's what they should have done with Blade, but Blade's going to be PG-13, so I'm kind of... I'm kind of on the fence about that. But I'll wait to see it when it comes out. So, again, it has an uphill battle. I think he's in the new Spider-Man movie. I 100% think he's in. But, I mean, we'll wait and see. There's certain things that have happened that makes me believe he's in. But we'll wait and see on that. Now, to circle back to Gundam a little bit more.
Yes.
With the release of Gundam Wing in North America, did you happen to watch any of the commercials or anything along those lines of the original fucking, Gundam Wing action figure model kits?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What are some of your thoughts on those?
Do
you think, let me ask you a better question. Do you think, given the time frame, that these were good enough commercials to sell the Gundam Wing action figure model kits?
They got me to buy one of the action figures, not the model kits. But I especially that one that you sent me, that specific one. I remember that one.
Which one did I send you? Did I send you the edgy '90s one or the one where it's
that edgy one where everyone's just like heavy arms, 4.5 hours. I feel like what I noticed about it was that like all of the guys did it in several hours, but the girl comes on and it's the Asian girl, so that they check the race box, and she's just
this is in the '90s too.
Yeah, and this is in the '90s, and she's like Wing 0, 3 days.
It's like
it took her 3 days, but it took all those other guys like 4, 6, 8 hours.
Mm-hmm. Like what are you
saying that like she doesn't have the dedication or the drive or the ability to do it that quickly?
I think she had
Or are you saying
actually.
that the guys are like basement dwellers and all they do are just hunchback over their table building this Gundam model kit? Like, what the fuck?
The one that I thought was funny, I think she actually had Epion too, because she had the black leather on.
The Epion was that other one, that like the punk looking kid, like Epion.
No, I think it was the Asian. I think it was the Asian girl.
Was it?
I think it was. Oh, damn. I think it was. But you're right though. I think it's a funny point.
She did do the 3 days.
3 days.
Like, why did it take her 3 days?
Well, I think of the one kid that was building. I think it was just a regular Wing Gundam, and he's like level 1 hour or 5 hours or whatever, and the kid's like. He looks like his dad's gonna like smack the shit out of him if he fucking says the wrong. Because his dad's like on the other side, like reading a paper, but he's kind of like glancing over, and it's like he's so fucking terrified that if he doesn't answer correct, his dad's gonna like beat the fuck out of him. I could see him sitting there, level 1 hour, 1 hour. You couldn't do it in 30 minutes.
It took you 3.
You little lying piece of shit. Just fucking grabs him and starts choking the fuck out of him. It's like, oh my god. But I think it's kind of funny how times have changed, where that was such a edgy ass commercial.
God.
Like, I was getting Matrix vibes the whole fucking time.
How much do clothes cost in the Matrix?
Oh god. What's that Matrix fucking YouTube series?
Knox the Matrix.
Yeah. It's still on there.
Spelled Knox.
Yep.
And it was this dude that redubbed all of the Matrix movies, and they were... I remember watching them on Newgrounds and just thinking they were the most hilarious thing in the entire world.
Yep. Oh my god.
Great. I just dated myself there. Go on to Newgrounds back when Flash was a thing.
Right. Well, that's the thing. You and I technically have been around at least in the YouTube space since its infancy. I remember, fun fact, I did live with Themgrir at one point right after high school, and we used to be on Newgrounds, YouTube. We've got a couple of funny skit channels for sure. Maybe I'll throw it up here in the description if y'all want to check that out. But we've been doing the YouTube game now for years. We just never really like focused on it until now.
You know what's funny? I never had my own personal YouTube account, but I was always like in all of my friends' videos or
Yep.
stories or things in their YouTube. So
Which
like, yeah, no, it's I've been here.
Right, which I think is one part good, but I think could also be a detriment. One thing I've found just in the past year, I mean, I can speak for myself, of course, and I'll ask you the same question. Um, Being a solo, like doing it solo, like, of course, having people on is great and being able to talk to different people. But do you feel, because I feel creatively I've been able to do a lot more when it's just my channel specifically doing things. Do you feel now that you've started doing more YouTube stuff, you do the streaming a lot of the times, do you feel that it's better because you just recently left the You Geek Club
You Geek
situation?
Squad,
Yeah,
yeah, the
You Geek
whole
Squad.
You Geek.
Do you think, and I know it's still a little fresh, so you may not be able to answer completely, but do you think now it's a better situation overall to be kind of doing your own thing with just the Themgrir brand, or would you say you prefer being in like a group scenario or a group setting, and kind of in
Um,
like a network scenario?
I mean, I definitely, I because I have very specific talents, and I'm not goddamn fucking fly. I am not being cocky when I say these. Like I know these are talents. I know I got a good stage personality. I can,
Well, I'd
I can hold
smash.
people's attention.
Yeah, I'd
Whatever.
smash for sure.
Like because growing up, obviously, I really loved acting. So I did a lot of theater arts classes and any of the film classes. Like the one film class that I took, it was this is like we'd go in there, we'd watch a film, and then we'd dissect the film, and we'd have a discussion about the film, and we'd write
Film
like essays
connoisseur.
about the film. Yeah, so we'd sit there and tear them apart, basically. Like, oh, what was the author trying to portray here? Like, why did he have the characters do this? Like, blah blah blah. Like, all this crazy shit. So it's like, kind of gave me a snobby outlook of movies. Like even nowadays, when I go see a movie, I tear them apart, and it's like, okay, well, the story was garbage, but this character was good, and
Mm-hmm.
the cinematography was really good, and like, oh, but the music to it was kind of didn't really set the. It's like I tear them apart like that.
Mm-hmm.
But roundabout way to getting to an answer. I actually liked it better working on a team
Mm-hmm.
because of how my specific talents are.
Mm-hmm.
My specific talents have always been like the voice or the face or the one in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So I know like even now because I haven't obviously put up any scripted videos yet, and it's all just been the live streaming stuff. But I do have stuff that is currently being written and worked and stuff.
Yep.
But I found it hard transitioning into that because I didn't do enough of it during my theater arts and film class time. I kind of wish now that I would have taken like a screenwriting class or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. I felt it would have made me feel a little bit more prepared
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have an actual direction for
Mm-hmm.
my YouTube channel other than some of the newer ideas that I have, other than just the streaming.
Mm-hmm.
But I am also excited to kind of experiment and try out these new things. But ultimately, I feel like I work better on a team
Mm-hmm.
rather than I do solo. But I also haven't been solo long enough to get a good idea of how well I can do that.
Would you say it's fair to say then that kind of doing the solo side of the film production and like videos and whatnot, do you think it's been a very educational experience for you so far? I mean, I know it hasn't been
Yeah.
a super long time frame at this point, but long enough for you to kind of understand
Yeah.
the situation with it.
Yeah. I've already learned enough in just coming up with ideas.
Right.
Like, I mean, obviously you've known me long enough. Like,
Yep.
how many different ideas have I told you through the years?
Oh, and it goes the same way with me too. Like we would sit there and
Absolutely.
shoot the shit with different ideas all the time.
Like fuck, I just thought of an old idea that Becker and I were gonna make for that 15-second horror
Oh, right.
contest that they have on YouTube. Because we entered one year, and though we didn't win, these big name reactors to it or something on this other channel voted our video with the best monster, and
Which
the
video
video
was
was like
this?
this was Ding Dong Ditch.
Okay.
And again, 15-second horror movie. So it starts with a nice little shot of an establishing shot of a lit up pumpkin, so you know that it's Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Doorbell rings, and I'm like, and he pans out and you see me, and it's like, oh, goddamn kids. And I go and I look out the peephole, and the camera looks out the peephole, and there's nothing. And then it goes back to that pan shot of me. And I'm like, must have been nothing. And while I'm doing that, you see an 8-armed creature in the background just going like this. And then when I turn around, it's a close-up, and I'm face to face with the creature, and then it's just fade out.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you have the video? Is it still up on YouTube to watch?
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure I can find it so that at least by the time that you get this video set up, I can give you a link if you want to link it down below.
Yeah. So if you all want to watch it, I'll for sure have a link for that below, so you guys can go check that out.
But yeah, no, that and what was funny is Becker didn't notice it right away, so we didn't find this out until almost a year later.
Oh shit.
So then, of course, we messaged the guy. We're like, "Oh shit, hey, thanks."
It's hard to capitalize at that point, but I mean, it's still nice,
right?
you know.
But that it just reminds me of the other one that we started to film, but we didn't finish it because we couldn't shave it down to 15 seconds. There was just too much to it. But the shots that we did have is he wanted to test out his new waterproof casing for his camera. And this is why I love working with Becker whenever we film something, because this motherfucker is dedicated. And I have
some stories with him too.
Filmed with enough times where I, like, anytime he's just like, hey, I have an idea for something, I'm in.
For context, Becker is a fucking wizard when it comes to filmmaking. I took TV productions with him. Not to cut you off, I apologize. Just context.
No, you're fine.
He's a friend of ours from high school, and the guy's a wizard at editing, filmmaking, production in general. Great dude overall. Probably the best. Yeah, probably one of the best filmmakers that we know personally. That I feel like should have made it. I think he should have made it a long time ago in the film industry. But
obviously, life came in. But no. So the shot. One day he's like, all right, here's the idea. We're gonna film this, and essentially the concept was. It was going to start off on my character, and as the line continues, we were going to continue panning away and revealing more. And essentially, it'd start off where you could clearly tell, like, you're eating dinner, you can hear the silverware clacking and everything. It's like, oh, I hope you guys all enjoyed this. And as it pans, you see the first set of couples sitting on opposite sides of me, and one of them makes like, oh, this is delicious. Like, how did you make it? And then it cuts to what we filmed, and what we filmed was. Becker gets down into his skivvies, fills up the bathtub until it's deep enough where he can lay there with the camera like this and be underwater. And then I'm over him, and he's filming me basically like suffocate him underwater. So it's like this first person, and all you see is me just like...
He fucking... Whenever he made any sort of project, he would commit so fucking hard to whatever it was.
Hard.
Yep.
Like, when we filmed, it was a video that I never put up. But it was, and I would love to refilm it because that Lancer, it's the retro Lancer from Gears of War,
right?
And the video that I filmed, it was called A Boy and His Lancer, and Becker straight up sat there and filmed me buck ass naked in the shower and got the shot so that it never showed any nudity. And of course, I didn't have any like nude. Like, because obviously in the real day and age with actors, like, they have these special underwear that covers their bits and shit.
Right.
We didn't have those, so this guy just sits there, films me buck ass naked in the shower for this video. Again, so yes, he is dedicated.
He's a master of the craft.
But the way that this keeps going, like, so then it cuts to me doing the deed, killing him, and then it goes back to me, and it's me and that first couple, but then it keeps panning back, and then it reveals a second couple.
Now, who was the brainchild? Were you finished with the story before I cut you off?
Oh no, there's a little bit more, but yeah, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I got a question for you though.
Pans out to the second set, and then this second set, he sets up the camera, and we set it up on a roll so it looks like it's on a cutting board, and all you see is the knife. It's angled up, so it's a nice like angle of me, but it's down low, so it makes me look much more like, how he menacing. Was with the symbolism and shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then the shadows behind me were, much bigger kind of thing. So I'm sitting there and I'm chopping with this. And then he has like this ketchup set up. So like the last chop, this ketchup goes on camera. But then he takes the camera and he like rolls it off onto the ground. And then, of course, it pans back to the table and keeps panning back, reveals the last couple. And everyone's making comments like, "Oh, this dinner's so delicious!" Like, "Oh, I can't. How did you make that?" This, "Oh, it's just like a trick that my mom taught me." Blah blah blah. And then when it gets to that last couple, it cuts, and it shows me the camera's in the oven. He puts the camera in the oven, and I open it up and I put a tray inside. And then when he closes it, you see my face reflected on the glass, but then you see a head in the oven.
Oh, that's
So it's like I basically killed this guy, prepared a meal, and then fed it to all these people.
oh god. Now, who was the brainchild of that? Was that you or was that Becker?
You know, it was a little bit of mix of both.
Okay.
Because this was after the Ding Dong Ditch one, and so we already knew that we wanted to get back
And
together and do another one.
And what time frame was this? Was this recently or was this a couple years ago?
God, this was 2012, 2014, maybe.
Okay.
Somewhere around that area.
Okay.
So several years ago.
Now, let me ask you this. With this stuff, do you feel like you'll ever go back to any of these type of like films and videos and whatnot?
Oh,
I know we were
absolutely.
originally
Like,
going to do an off the cuff, but we're turning into an
No,
interview with Themgrir here.
where the off the cuff
Yeah.
went, you know? But
Exposed
absolutely,
Themgrir.
there are so many different things. Like obviously, there are so many skit ideas that I want to run with you again.
Of course, and I would, if I've got the time, I would love to do them with
Absolutely. I definitely like. There's some horror ideas that I want to run past Becker, and I want to revive that one.
you. Hmm.
I don't think we ever got a name for it other than just the dinner party.
Right. Now, do you think that this will go on like the Themgrir channel, or would you be trying to do some sort of like production team again, or what is your kind of mindset that you see yourself doing in the future, doing content creation and all this different stuff?
You know, if I think I would probably separate it. I think the Themgrir brand would stick with like the video games and maybe like the weekly recaps of things in entertainment or similar, like maybe off the cuff things like this that are more video game, anime, or entertainment related. So I'll keep it more like an entertainment singularity, but
Right.
for the longer skits, like the stuff where it's not so off the cuff, for lack of a better term, where it's more scripted, where there's actual story and dialogue and like that's the stuff I want to do with a team. I would rather like get a production team together and work on that stuff, and obviously the choices of people that I'd want in that also have their own shit, and most of them have their own channels. So it would be one of these production companies where it wouldn't prioritize over each individual channel, but it would be where all of the not necessarily solo channel genre would fit. So then it would go there.
Okay.
So like, do a short horror movie or maybe a short comedy skit or something like that, and it would go on the production side of things rather than on an individual one. So like if we ran like that Billy Shits skit that and I have a little bit of an outline for that, so I'll have to bring that up with you. But like for that Billy Shits one, for example, like that's a skit that I want to do with you. And if we did that, I don't think I'd put it on either, Reb's channel or Themgrir's channel. I would put it on this productions channel.
Right. Fucking
So like I think that's how that's how I'm viewing things now. Obviously,
Okay.
I'm just getting into this now, and not being under an umbrella of another company or entity, and it's all me by myself. So like I don't want to dive too deep too quickly, so I'm going to take it slow. But these are definitely ideas that I have and directions that I want to move.
Being fresh in right out of being under an umbrella, how does that make you feel in terms of your approach to different things? Like, is it a strange kind of feeling that you have after you got out of the umbrella? Because you'd mentioned earlier how, for the most part, you've been in like group parties and projects and whatnot.
Yeah.
Was it more of a shock to your system trying to do that? Was
a little bit?
Like, kind of run me through your thought process.
It was one of those where I kind of felt a little bit of anger and anxiety at first because it was so out of the blue.
Right. Now, if you want to talk about it, that's perfectly fine. We don't have to go into the details. If you're more than welcome to, of course.
I
don't care.
Too many specifics, but I'll go into like
you know me,
what
I
may
don't
have made me feel that way.
No, of course. Of course. You know me, I'm not trying to tell you not to say anything.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Say everything, but as long as you feel comfortable saying.
Obviously I don't want to put him on blast.
Of course.
So I'm not going to say his name.
Of course.
And
But
it's not that I dislike him. We are still on great terms. We
right,
still talk. We still play games together. Like, there's no bad blood.
of course,
But I'm still a little like,
little poopy.
but yeah, I'm still a little poopy about it,
No, that's
you
fair.
know? But like, because it's basically what led me to starting my singular was I was under this umbrella, which we mentioned earlier. But now that we're getting into this story, I'm not going to repeat the names. So if you want the names, rewind the video.
Right.
Um, but there was a talk between three of us, and this was the creator of said umbrella,
Mm-hmm.
myself, and someone else who has a lot of, for lack of a better term, clout in the company.
Mm-hmm.
And I use company loosely. Um, he's we had a meeting, and it was like, all right, here's all the directions, here's all the stuff we want to do, here's all the cool stuff. He talked me up, kind of fed my ego, made me feel really special. Uh, like all these, here are all the ideas of what I want for you and all this and blah blah blah. And you're so good, you're so perfect for this, you have such a good personality for it. Like, just really stroking my dick.
That's
Which
my
felt
job too.
great. Felt great. Don't get me wrong.
That's my job, but I'll physically
Um,
do it. You know.
but then, of course, like not even a few weeks after that, all of that talk,
Right.
it was, I didn't get any heads up. It was just posted on all of the social media, and it was just
Right.
like, hey, I've hit my limit. I've done this for 10 years. I can't do this anymore. And I respect that. Like,
Yeah.
it takes a lot to realize your limit, and I know how hard of a decision that was. It was a very hard decision,
Right.
but it still hurt. It still hurt.
Well, I can imagine.
I still
Yeah.
took it I still took it a little personally, even though I told myself, oh, I shouldn't. You shouldn't take this personally.
Right.
But I did a little.
Now, do you think that that's primarily because of how much you were putting into the project?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I know
Like
like
I
you would always
was
talk about it, and you like
yeah.
whenever we would be going to the gym. I could speak off the cuff
Yeah.
myself. Is you'd be telling me like different ideas you have for what you want to do and how committed you were to this project. Do you feel that it could have been handled differently? Do you think that you yourself could have done anything differently with the
I mean,
situation, or
I could have stopped being a poopy butthole about it and not taking it so personally, because I really
well,
did. I really did take it personally.
and I think that that's human though. Like that stuff's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
happen regard. Even if I've found in life that even on the best of terms with any situation, there's gonna be a little because like what's an example like in a relationship or something like that. Even if you left on the best fucking possible terms, it's still the ending of a relationship. It's still a piece of your
Yeah.
life that that's done and that's over with. It's a psychological thing that you're still going to have to get over at some point. So,
Yeah.
do you think that that has caused you to not want to create content as rapidly? Or do you think that
A
it's
little
more of
bit,
a
yeah.
driving force later? Or let me rephrase that. Do you think it will become a driving force later on?
I definitely think it will become a
Yeah.
driving force once I get more experience and feel more confident in my
Hmm.
ability to turn out an actual edited video rather
Right.
than a live stream. Because live streams are easy. Like,
Yep.
turn on the camera, play a video game. Most of my attention's on the video game. If people are chatting, I'm trying to, engage with them. It's
Shoot the
real
shit.
easy. I'm a social butterfly. You know me. Like, I
Yep.
can fucking bounce from one group to another and just talk to everybody.
Yep.
So that's not the problem. The problem is my inexperience when it comes to editing, not only a video, but graphics for thumbnails and things of that such nature. Um, it comes from my inexperience of being able to write a script or an outline.
Hmm.
Like, I can write bullet points for an idea of like, hey, I want to do this, 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 and this. This is how I want it to look in order when it's done. Like, I can do that, but sometimes that's not quite enough, you know? Um, so one part hesitant at first, but
Hmm.
ultimately I know that once I gain this experience and kind of find myself, in terms of what kind of video and content that I want to put out
Hmm.
on the YouTube channel, because obviously, like, all of these edited videos aren't going to hit my Facebook audience.
Hmm.
This is going to be uploaded to YouTube. So this will be my YouTube audience. So anybody that watches me stream from Facebook would have to go to YouTube to get it.
Yep.
You
Now,
know?
are you going to be publishing your stuff on Facebook as well? Because that can be a pretty good source
Oh yeah,
of
absolutely.
viewers and
But I think
whatnot.
it'll be one of those where
Or are you going
I
to take
think
the rebel light approach and just not fucking tell anybody for like a year?
Well,
That
because
you
like,
you have a channel to plug
well, it's
myself,
like,
of
well,
course, and make it about
yeah,
me.
I think it might be one of those where I think the edit videos probably go YouTube first, but like I also know that some of the ideas that I have,
Hmm.
uh, obviously because I haven't read it in depth and I've only read a like Cliff Notes version. Obviously, I know the things that I shouldn't put in a video, but like there's some content that I definitely want to talk about or show, whether it be in like an editorial kind of style, kind of like how you do,
Yeah.
or an interview style, or a skit, or a short film. There's definitely some content that I know that I probably wouldn't be able to get away with on YouTube, let alone Facebook. So, like obviously those horror movies that I got, they have that I gotta go by old Texas Chainsaw Massacre rules. Uh, imply, don't show.
Right.
Because if you go back and watch that original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, nobody dies on screen. You never see anybody die on screen. It's all implied, but that's why it's terrifying because it's left up to your imagination.
Yeah, I think the only time, yeah, because they didn't even show him die. The dude who gets hit in the head with the fucking hammer, he like they don't show him die because I think they show him alive later. But I mean, he fucking took a bludgeon shot to the
Yeah,
head. Like, ugh.
but
No, it makes sense though.
yeah, so like ultimately, I think once I gain a little bit more of that experience and become a little bit more confident in the direction that I want to go on the YouTube side of things, uh, then I'll start putting it out to my Facebook audience. You know, maybe they're too lazy to go on YouTube, or
That's
maybe
fair.
mom
That
and
does
dad
happen.
won't let them go onto YouTube. I don't
Yeah.
know. You know,
What do you
but,
feel like would be the sign that you have the confidence in order to do that? Would it be putting a video out? Do you think it's getting some sort of
um,
validation type thing?
honestly, I think it would be editing not
Hmm.
only my first video but the sound for it and getting it all together and publishing it,
Right.
and then it at least fuck if I could reach fucking 50 views and like at least 10 likes, then to me that would be a successful video.
Hey, that's fair, dude. I'm
Like
still I'm still in that
I
boat
know
with you. I
some of
feel
my
you.
yeah, like I know some of my street, like I look back and when I check my Themgrir Facebook page, like some of the highlighted ones, like fuck, if I go on there right now,
Hmm. I won't lie. I still get a
it'll
rush anytime
show.
I get a like on even one like on a video. I still get that rush. I'm like,
So
someone
yeah,
likes my
so
shit. Feels
it's
good.
changed now because at one point it was that day that I played Medieval, that PlayStation
Oh,
game.
the remake or whatever.
Yeah, I had 348 views on that. That's insane to me.
That's fucking awesome.
Like right now, my most popular video is the extra fight night that I played
Hmm.
June 23rd at 8:15, and it has 202 views.
And that's at YouTube or is that Facebook?
That's the Facebook one.
Okay, right on.
But I'm pretty sure, given how close this was, this one also aired on YouTube
Okay,
because I streamed to both Facebook and YouTube at the same time, so
okay.
the way they all get it. But yeah, like it's weird to go through because shit, like just even within the last week, it cuts it off. But the Dead by Daylight that we played yesterday,
Hmm.
uh, at least 40 some odd views already.
There you go. So you
Like
definitely have an audience there.
yeah,
Do you
like I
think
have an
that?
audience.
Do you think doing more scripted stuff would still bring that audience with you? Because I know you're primarily a
I
streamer at this moment. Do you think it
I
would, or do you think that you won't get the
given
same?
that I know that the audience and like I know that there are a lot of like especially recently I've seen names pop up in my chat or names pop up that like the video or like it and share it.
Hmm.
I've been seeing increasingly more names that I do not recognize.
Which is always a great
People,
feeling, right?
yeah, you know, people that I don't know, and you know, okay, maybe I'm a little creepy, but I'll be like, who the fuck is this person? I'll look, and it's like somebody from fucking Ohio, and it's like, holy shit, like you're not even in the same state as me,
Hmm.
and we've never met, and you're following and watching my videos, so clearly I'm doing something that's garnering attention.
It's humbling. It
Uh,
really is.
it really is, but like I know that out of the what 120 130 followers that I have on Facebook, I know at least a good 70 of them are
Hmm.
people that I know personally.
Right. But that's still a 50% ratio, though, too.
Right.
Well, it's a little less than 50%, but
So I at least to circle back and answer that question, I feel like if I did start putting out more scripted content and more edited videos, uh, I feel like yes, there might be some people that'll be like, oh, you know, what the hell is this? Why isn't he playing a game? What the fuck? But because so many of them know me personally and have known me long enough to know my love for filmmaking and making shit like that, just generally being in front of the camera and acting, they would come for that because they know it's my passion, and they
Okay.
would. I at least feel like most of them would want to support me in that because they know how much I love it.
That makes sense. Now let me take you back here a little bit. We can wrap this up here in a little bit. I don't know what you
Yeah,
got going
fine.
on. I know you
I
got
don't
like
have
fight
anything
night
going
you're
on.
doing today too, but
For
let
a
me.
while.
Fair enough. Let me take you back to when you first started doing your weekly You Geek cast. Now I
Yeah.
was there day one for that, so I can vouch for that. I feel like you got a pretty decent turnout on your first video. Like you got quite a few different views
Yeah.
and likes and people commenting and whatnot. Do you think going forward that you want to stick to some sort of schedule like that? Do you think you're going to change it up? Do you want to do something similar to that for your content in the future?
I enjoyed that so much that I would like to do some kind of weekly recap, but with full-time job and the trying to stay committed to the days that I've picked for streaming as
Right.
well. I know it'll be tough to get other stuff in there, and it would be tough to stick to like a once a week kind of schedule, especially if on top of that I'm having to learn how to edit so that I can edit those
It's a lot.
videos.
Yep.
Because when I was doing those weekly recaps for the Umbrella, uh, it was not edited for me. Well, I didn't edit it. It was edited for me. I'd literally just turn on the camera, talk for
Right.
5 minutes, and then email that to the person who would then edit it and then post it on the day that it airs.
Right.
So, like on one half, it was yes a new experience because I had to write my own script. I had to come up with the topic of the video. Like I had to do all that, uh, but I didn't have to edit. So on one hand, yes, I did learn a little bit something new, and I did get a little bit of experience with it, but I didn't get the whole experience.
Right. The whole big fucking
Yeah.
get to learn every goddamn thing spot.
So, like, obviously, learning how to edit, I know it's going to take me a while to pick that up and then not only edit a video, but you know me well enough to know how critical I am, especially of myself. Like, I'm not going to put up the video if I don't feel like it's up to a certain standard.
Would you say
So if
you're
I'm
like kind of a
sitting there-
perfectionist then?
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a perfectionist because I'm also very lazy, so I think I'd be too
Fair enough.
lazy to make it perfect.
Right.
But at the same time, like this is something that I'm passionate about, and I
Right.
want that passion to show. So if I don't feel like that passion is in there and that the audience can't see that passion, then I don't feel like that video is going to be worth posting until I find the passion and insert it.
No, I feel you. I definitely can feel you on
Like
that.
I know that I'll never make a perfect video. It might be perfect to somebody. Somebody might come on and be like, "Oh man, this was perfect. I loved it. It's great." But then somebody else will be like, "Yeah, no, it was all right."
And
Not your
that's
best, but-
that's there's that meme where it's like the duality of man, where
Yeah.
on the one hand you'll get someone that thinks you're the greatest fucking thing ever, and another person thinks you're the biggest piece of trash ever. I think it all comes down to variables and circumstance.
So like yeah, so like with that alone is why I wouldn't hold myself to it has to be perfect. No, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's impossible. But
Right.
I want when people watch it, whether or not they liked the video, I want them to go away from the video realizing, well, this may not have been good, or hey, this may have been good, but goddamn, that guy sure you can tell he loves doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I want that excitement, I want that passion, I want that to come through, because shit, man, like I've been told enough by enough friends, especially you, that I just have this like infectious personality. So
You
like
do.
I might as well just try to infect as many fucking people as I can.
I mean, you
know?
might as well put your best foot forward. That's what I always say. You know, at least give it a
So, yeah.
shot. I mean, what's the worst that gonna happen? People are gonna say you fucking suck. I've had a lot of people tell me that.
And what's funny is like I don't give a shit about that.
It's not
Like,
important. Like,
do you remember how excited I was when one of those weekly recaps came out and somebody disliked it?
well, yeah. Oh, you know what's funny? That was right
Do you
around.
remember how
Oh, I do.
excited I was for that?
I do.
I was
And
like, oh, this is fucking awesome.
yep, I do remember that. And I remember there was a couple people. I think there was a person that was actually shit talking in the comments. I don't remember who it
And
was.
like I was
but
just like, oh yeah, this guy's shit down
Right.
my video.
That was great. Well, because because even if they're going out of their way to talk shit or downvote or whatever, they're still going on there. You still created an emotional impact to the point where they're doing something.
And
Like you've done something
yeah,
to them to get an emotional resonance. So you won.
exactly. I have done what I set it out to do. I made you feel something,
Yep.
whether that be joy over what you just witnessed or utter contempt and hate.
Yep. First,
And like I'm not gonna lie, like sure, I guarantee, like if I ever get to a point where I, like am coming into like hundreds of views and 20 plus comments on every video, and I start getting those like, oh, kill yourself kind of shit, or you're horrible, or your videos, like I know
I've gotten that
I know,
recently. Actually, I'll tell you a funny story here in a minute with that. But
and it's like I know that all of that does get to people, and I know that it would probably eventually get to me if I saw it enough. But at the same time, I feel like I'd always keep that outlook of, well, hot damn, you took time out of your day to say this shit on a video on the internet.
you took time out of your day to create rent space in your head for me. Thank you.
Exactly. So it's like, I know that there's going to be some days where like I might see a comment and I'll be like, oh man, that really takes the wind out of my sails. I'm feeling really down about myself now. But then I know that there's going to be, hopefully the majority of them are just going to be like, hey, you too, man. I don't care.
Well, and you know what's interesting? The other day I had gotten a comment telling me that basically that I should quit, that my content sucks, and that they don't even understand why I'm still making it at this point.
Fuck your content.
Yeah. And then I actually had two people that I didn't even know who they were. I didn't even know they were subscribed, that were just like, oh, this person's, I'm not going to put them on blast here, but like if you go back to my Lily Munster video and go through the comments, you'll find it. But they were like, you need to quit. And I was like, yeah, I'll think about it. I just like, okay, I'll think about it. And it was one of the nicest things, like, because for sure, like, it hits you and you just go, oh man.
Like, I'm not saying it doesn't affect you, like, it's going to. But
Your options at that point are to let it completely beat you or just to keep going. And I just said, okay, I'll think about it. And then like, yeah, I did. Obviously, I thought about it. But like, I think it was yesterday or the day before that I actually went on there and I was looking through the comments because I noticed that it had more comments. I'm like, did they respond back or something? It turns out people that I didn't even know were subscribed to the channel are actually on there commenting. One person was like, oh, this person sounds jealous or something to that effect. And the comment went on there was like, no, objectively, he makes terrible content. And I was just like, okay, I guess I do then. And then another person literally went on there was like, I really hope you don't stop making content. And that actually hit me in the chest. I was like, oh, that's actually really nice. Like, you don't realize how nice, like, a nice comment actually, it does go a long way. And
fuck yeah, even if it's just something small and innocuous like that, like,
yeah,
fuck,
it makes me feel good because it's, yeah, like, I feel very appreciative of, I don't think I get to say it enough, but I really am appreciative of all the people that have subbed and liked and commented. I'm only coming up, I think, on, let me check, 200, yeah, I'm at 219 right now, about to hit 220, and I just gotta say thank you to everyone who's even taken the time to watch it. It's really cool that they've even taken the time. So I can say from personal experience that it's a good feeling, like, when people, like, because you go through so much and you do so much work through the streaming, the video making and whatnot, that it's hard to tell whether or not you're actually doing something good. And you realize that you don't always need the validation to keep going, but having some validation does feel good. Yeah, I won't lie to you and say, even the happy comments don't make. No, it's nice to get the validation. Well, shit, I'd be a liar if I said I didn't.
There are some days like where, like I'll have a stream and, I'll be 15, 20, 30 minutes into the stream. No one's come in yet, no comments. And like there are some days where, like that, at that point, it's just kind of like, okay, why am I doing this?
Right. The thought will always crop into your head.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It's like every time, and it's just like I realize, and then like usually every time my head is always like, well, you're going to be sitting here playing video games anyways, talking to yourself, so you might as well
just record it.
All right. You might as well record it and put it on the fucking internet. Like,
now I've always attributed a lot of making stuff, and you definitely want your opinion on it as well. Is, do you think that it it's kind of like going to the gym where you're going to have your days where you just don't want to fucking go
Oh
and you
yeah,
don't want to do it, but
yeah,
you still like, if I don't keep going, if I don't
yeah.
keep that habit up, you're going to lose it. Do you think that it's similar to that, or do you think it's something a little bit different or completely different? What's your
I
opinion on that?
honestly, I think it's very similar.
Okay.
Because fuck, there's been some days even since we started working out where I'm just like, fuck, I really don't feel like going today. I'm tired, or maybe I didn't sleep well last night, whatever the fuck may be.
Right.
But we still go.
Yep. Every
We
time.
still go.
Listen to
And you know
80s
what?
music and go the whole way.
Afterwards, sure, I feel I'm still fucking tired, and I'm still, I'm even more tired, but I feel good.
Hey, shout out to TLC No Scrubs. That's all I can say on that one. But,
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
don't want no scrub. Scrub is the guy that can get no love from me.
hanging
Hanging
out
out
the
the
passenger
passengers,
side of his best friend's ride, trying to
trying
holler
to
at
holler
me.
at me.
Now that we've
And
gotten fucking DMCA striked, we're completely banned from the internet now.
yep, banned from the internet. And we're a bunch of people are gonna be coming on here like, what are you guys, faggots?
You fucking bunch of homos. Like, well, I mean, I'm bi. I don't make any attempt at hiding that. What, you want me to suck your dick, or
For
how
the
big
first
is it? Is it
time,
really small?
somebody asked me what my sexuality was, and this was the first time that I've ever answered like this, so it kind of
Was
took
this
me
on
by surprise.
stream?
I can't remember if it was on stream. I think it was, and now that I think about it, I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
But like my answer was like, I guess I'm mostly straight.
That just depends on how much
Was
I've had to drink.
Yeah, I guess it really just depends what company I'm in and what's in my
Right.
body.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. I
Thanks,
think
Joe.
what company you're in, right? I
Yeah,
think
what company
that
I'm in.
I think, and we've had this conversation before, and this is gonna be in a whole fucking off the cuff itself, but I think so much people put so much stock in sexuality nowadays, and yeah, it's important that you understand that and you accept who you are and blah 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 and all that stuff. But I think so much people they put so much emphasis on it. It's like, look, that's great and all, but like I think y'all complicate things way too much by making that your personality
I
rather
I I
than having a
definitely
personality
feel
with a
that way.
sexuality.
Like I will never misgender someone on purpose.
Hmm.
It may be an accident. If you correct me, I will absolutely respect you and use your preferred pronoun. But at the same time, I really think it's dumb how many social media accounts are like he, him, she, her, they,
Oh,
them.
I'm just
Like
an asshole, so I just
like
purposely got a way
why
to make fun of
why do
people.
you have to advertise it? Why
Hmm.
can't it just be something if someone's curious and they ask, you tell them? Why
Right.
is it?
I think
Why
that
do
it
you have
was
to
like
fucking
that.
sit there and make it your fucking headline?
A
Like that
lot
doesn't.
a lot of it I think is attention. Now, not every case obviously, but I think a lot of it is attention. And that's one of the reasons why I will troll people sometimes is not necessarily out of hate just cuz I think it's funny, like cuz I think that they could throw it back at me. I've got plenty of shit to make fun of about me. I mean just look at me. I shouldn't be
You're a
wearing a
scrawny,
tank top.
lanky bastard.
Yeah, it's easy to make fun of me. That's fine. You can throw it at me. That's okay. I might get butt hurt. I'll probably fucking cry because I'm a little bitch. But
Yeah, you will get butthurt.
and I'll like it too. I might like it. Depends on the size, of course. But that's the thing is I think people take things. I don't want to say they take things seriously because I take things seriously, of course. But at the same time, I think I saw that shit. I think people they they get way too attached to stuff, and I'm definitely
Like
like
it's the advertisement of it that
yeah,
I think
you're
is
just asking for someone to ask about it, and that's the thing is
yeah.
I think it's a license to not necessarily. I think sometimes for some people it's a license to be offended for no reason, for sure. For some people, hey, if you want me to call you blah 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 blah, that's great. You can ask me to, and if I remember to, I'll probably fucking do it. But 99 times out of 100, I don't fucking. If you're
Yeah.
not a piece of
Like
shit, then we're good. You
yeah,
know,
and honestly, that's what it boils down to. If you're gonna be a dick to me, I'm gonna be a dick to you.
right?
Like I'm gonna be curt. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh fuck you, go die. But I'll be like, all right, fuck off then.
Right, and if you want me to give you dick, it just depends on if you're good looking or not. Because I'm
Right,
biased,
right.
I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me, and especially if he's hanging outside of a passenger ride trying to holler at me. That's just unclassy. I don't know if you heard C in the back.
No, I didn't. What'd you
She,
say?
she was just like, "Shut up."
We could sit here and just rhyme danger zone with danger zone,
Danger zone, danger zone, danger zone, danger zone.
and it's gonna be the highway to the danger zone, right into the danger zone.
Oh yeah. Well, Themgrir, it's been a good conversation so far. I don't know if there's
Yeah.
anything else you wanted to cover. I know we
Shit, I don't
started off
know.
with Gundam,
Yeah,
shifted to
we
other stuff, of
mostly
course.
stuck to Gundam,
Yep, and then it
but
turned into a grilling of Themgrir, the interview.
really, yeah.
Now you're up there with the Off and Rich Monk interviews.
Oh my God,
Your third
I'm
interview.
internet famous
You
now.
are
Oh my
now.
God. Oh.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, well, shit. I guess I'll take this time because you said I could, and
yep.
I'm ready to stroke my own ego here
Absolutely.
for a
I would
second.
love, go ahead and plug your channel. Where can, if people want to find Themgrir, where can they find you, purchase merch,
You
do all that
can.
stuff?
So here's the thing. I have my Facebook page, facebook.com/Themgrir.
Yep. Link in below.
The YouTube page is literally the same thing, youtube.com/ I think it's b/Themgrir or whatever the fuck it is,
Hmm.
however they do theirs, but
Link below as
it's
well. Yep.
YouTube's Themgrir, whatever.
Yep.
In terms of merch, because the umbrella no longer exists, so you can't go to that website to get them. If you want to buy a T-shirt with my Viking helmed bearded logo on it, you can reach out to me directly, and I can get in touch with the gentleman who I work with that has the machine to make it.
Now, do you have a business email or anything like that, or do you have one linked in your Facebook or
You
your
know
YouTube
what?
or
I'm
anything?
pretty sure that I have a Themgrir Gmail account made. I would just have to follow up with that,
Okay.
and it can be used for that.
Perfect.
Obviously, if you're on Facebook, you can just go ahead and message my Themgrir page. For the time being, YouTube, you can comment on one of the videos or just link there because I'm pretty sure I had to use an email for that. Yeah.
Most likely, I'll press you for an email before I put this up. That way, you can get a
Yeah,
business
yeah.
email and
I'll get it
whatnot.
by then.
So, well, cool, man. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
coming on here today. I've talked some
Thank you for having
Gundam.
me, man.
No, of course.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to get you on the channel for a while now. So,
We do a fight night tonight. Are you going to be joining us for fight night? Do you want to join for fight night?
potentially. What time are you guys starting?
It'll be the normal 8 o'clock.
0 o'clock.
8 p.m. Arizona time, which is Mountain Standard Time, I think.
Right. I might be able to swing that. I'll talk to see what we got going on tonight,
Yeah.
and I'll shoot you a text. What are you guys playing tonight?
Uh, you know what? I'll have to follow up with
Okay.
Mason and find out.
Okay. Yeah, if I don't come on tonight, let Reload know if he wants to do an off the cuff anytime to let me know, and I'll pencil him in somewhere.
Yeah.
He's more than welcome to come on here, or we can do like a 3-way off the cuff. But again, it'll be depending on what the thing is. So.
Yeah, if you have like another video game topic kind of come up, maybe we'll do a 3-way then, because I think that would be fun. Because he's such a blast to be on.
I love Reload.
camera and stream with. He's a great guy.
Yeah, love Reload. Love to give him a chance to come on here as well too and chat and whatnot.
I gotta say, like, especially after the Rich Monk and the Off stuff, I love this editorial, like,
Thank you.
interviewee, news anchory kind of shit that you've been doing lately.
Thank you.
Like,
I appreciate that. I want to do more of it.
It really kind of fell into you like that. Like
It
I'm
wasn't
digging it.
intentional either. I actually
I know it wasn't, but hot damn and I'm not just saying the content alone, but I feel like you struck gold on it because you just have that kind of analytical mind and curiosity, the questions you ask and shit, like hot damn, man. Like,
I hope you
were
enjoyed the
built for
questions I asked too with that. Like
I did, yeah.
I appreciate that.
A few of them definitely made me think. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think of it that way. Hold on, like, fine.
No, of course, I appreciate that. It's. I guess it's different
that's
watching
a sign of a good reviewer, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. I guess it's different watching the interview, and then being in the hot seat. Getting
it very
questions.
much is. Because when I'm watching it, like I remember watching those couple other ones, and I'm just like, oh, oh shit.
Yep. You know me. I cut. Like I don't try to shy away. I'll cut straight to the fucking the thing
right there.
Whether I agree or disagree, we can just agree to disagree on stuff. I appreciate that though. It means a lot. Did you want to ask me any questions on that? You're more than welcome to. Like,
you know what? I'm gonna save them.
Okay.
Because I know that you and I talked about me wanting to do an interview.
Yeah.
For one of my things, because
of course
I'm not gonna lie, like you've made me interested, and I'm not gonna lie, if this comes off as me copying you, so be it. I don't care. But watching you do it and watching how well you did it and how much you enjoyed it, it made me want to try it.
Cool. Hey, you know what? That's the best compliment I could get, honestly. That made you want to try it.
You made me want to try it. So instead of asking you any questions now, I'm going to save any of those questions because I want to do an interview with you. And specifically, I want to make it almost an editorial / origin story of Rebel Light.
Okay. That'd be interesting.
In the sense of you know, some of the questions on it would be like, what made you want to stray away from those other YouTube channels that you had that they might know about to make this Rebel Light? You know, what started Rebel Light? What made you want to call it that? What made you decide on the content you wanted to do? Shit like that.
Well, don't tell me any more questions. To keep things fair, kind of like with I appreciate, you know, that I would absolutely love to do that. To keep things fair, because if I'm going to do that to other people where I don't do questions ahead of time, I'll do the same thing. I won't. I would rather not know.
Don't worry. Some of the juicier ones that I've thought up, I got those written down.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure it's got to do a lot with the Sonic shit.
Yeah. From the conversation that we had before. Yeah, no. But yeah, it's...
And you know, it's funny with that. The last thing I can say with that, before we go into the juicier stuff, with that, when you eventually interview me, since that's a thing now, people. It's going to happen on Themgrirs' channel. I'll be on there, so make sure to go subscribe to him when you get the chance. But
please and thank you.
Of course. This after the Sally Accords, I'm calling it that. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Goddamn.
It was such an eye-opening experience overall with the Sonic shit. Like it's, you know, it was. I'll put it this way. I don't hate anybody that I talk to. Certain people were definitely pressy. And I'll probably repeat the same fucking thing there. I don't hate anybody. I think there were certain people that, especially when it came to the off interview, where I got some emails of people saying this will destroy your career, this will destroy your channel.
That you told me about that, because I remember when before the video aired and you were telling me about some of the messages while we were at the gym.
Yep, it was.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, it was stupid. Like I told you, and I tell everybody, I'm not releasing DMs on anything unless you lie about something or you try to make me look bad or anything like that, because I got to protect my own fucking image too. I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and I give everyone a fair shake when it comes to anything. So when you start lying about what I say, then I got an issue with that. When it comes to other people that have 10 shitheads, they know who they are. I mean, that's the thing I can say. They know what they've done, and that's okay.
Watching those interviews definitely gave me a very strong opinion about the events and about the people involved.
Yeah.
And I will obviously be as respectful as you and not name names, but
of course,
there are some people that I find very shady now.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm more than happy to talk about certain elements, of course, from there. If you guys do want to watch the Sally Accords on Discord, we're all cataloged. It was a 2-day event, 2 or 3-day event, where I was on Discord and I fucking modded the whole... We basically did this style interview, but for 2 days straight. I spent my 2 days off interviewing people back to back, nonstop. Not video format, it's all text-based format. So again, all the people that were on there, thank you for guys for taking the time. A couple of you guys were definitely shitheads for sure, but I think
I heard the story.
Yeah, you can go look at the transcripts. The transcripts are all up there. But I think I didn't walk away from that disliking anybody. Some people I would prefer not to talk to, of course, or just it's not really, we're not going to have much to talk about anyway, but
not my cup of tea. Get away from me.
Yeah. I think everybody there had a reason to be there, and they got to say their piece. And if I was able to help out...
That's good. I'm glad you were able to help out with something like that and kind of extend an olive branch on behalf of these people, because I didn't know a whole lot about the Sonic community before all of this, but I knew that there was a lot of turmoil and a lot of shit going on, and this just kind of opened my eyes to more of it, and I was like, holy fuck.
And I think despite the fact that some of it was... got fucking stupid. I mean, if I can be realistic, got fucking stupid with some of the shit. I think that I did my best to try to be an impartial person. I definitely have my own opinions, especially when it comes to how some people acted and whatnot. I still tried to remain unbiased as best as I could and give everyone a fair shake, despite the fact that I think some people acted shadier than others, and I have my own personal opinion. They did what they did, and that is what it is. So, but we'll discuss that more, because I'm sure you'll want more of it.
Yeah. Because anytime that he was expressing, I guess the best way to put, discontent, venting frustration over the situation itself and in no one in particular. Anytime you started leaning one way particularly or the other, you would always stop and be like, "Oh, I can't be doing this. Like this, I can't have an opinion on that like that. I gotta keep this impartial." And I'm just like, you're doing a great job of that, but at the same time, you're venting your frustrations of being thrusted into a position that you never asked for and that you really shouldn't be doing anyways.
You know what's funny is technically I kind of did unintentionally, even if it was unintentionally, by doing those videos.
It's fair.
I can take responsibility and say I opened the can of worms for sure. Was I anticipating it to be a 7-part saga? I don't remember how many parts it was. No, absolutely not. Yeah. But am I glad I did it? Yeah. I think it was a great experience. It was a very frustrating experience at certain points. It definitely took a toll to a certain degree. I'm acting like I was getting fucking hate all the time. I wasn't, but like
no, you weren't getting hate all the time. But the constant drama was definitely wearing on your mentality.
Oh, I definitely say that. After it was all done, I needed a break.
Showed a few times at the gym. Like there was a few times at the gym where you were kicking yourself because you were too in your head about the whole thing.
Yep, I was like, oh god, I gotta try to just keep things fair, but these motherfuckers won't stop messaging me. It was good times. But we'll discuss that more.
Look at what you gained from that. You gained not only all that experience, but you found this love of this kind of interviewing format.
And you know what? I'll plug something else. If you guys are watching this and you do want to come on for an off the cuff or an interview or something like that, you can always email me. My business email is in my about section. And we'll talk. I like to keep things to a bare minimum when I'm just cold reading people. But if you want to come on and chat about different subjects and whatnot, drop me a line. And maybe, I won't say yes for sure, but I wouldn't be against doing it. Or if you have other people you want me to reach out to potentially interview, I'm up for that as well. Shoot me a line, leave me a comment, and I'll try to make things work. Because I would love to actually do more of these. I know the one with X was more of an off the cuff, but I'll get X on here next time, and I'll do more of an interview with him too. But I'm glad you do like it, and I'm glad you're going to be taking a step and stab at it and see if it works for you as well too.
So hopefully you guys will all come check out my interview with Reb when that gets underway. I have to learn how to edit a video first, so forgive me. It may not come for a little while.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I like I said, for me, this whole thing's gonna come up unedited. I think I'm gonna cut the very beginning of the bullshit beforehand where we were trying to make sure the audio was good and whatnot.
Yeah.
But make sure. So I guess that being said, thank you guys for watching. Go check Themgrir out. I'm going to have his channel linked below, have his Facebook, his email, all that shit. Go buy a t-shirt. It's a nice t-shirt. I wore it in my Lily Monster video, and I'll probably wear it a couple more times between now and the time that I fucking die on this channel. So, Themgrir, thank you for coming on here today and chatting with me about Gundam, letting me interview you.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. Is there any last things you want to add or anything like that?
Other than hurry up and feel better so we can hang out.
Right. I've been sick. I don't know if I caught the coof or not, but I've definitely felt on and off like shit for like a week. Well, so it's
feel better
crazy.
Soon, man. And other than, hey, if you guys thought I was cool in this, I'm having a fight night tonight. Whether you want to check it out on Facebook or whether you want to check it out on YouTube.
Yep. Give them your, because this isn't going to come out till next week, but give them your schedule for streaming. That way they know.
Yeah. So the schedule that I'm currently trying to adhere to as best as possible, that also kind of gives us time for going to our gym days, is Wednesdays. Timing's hard because sometimes I stream with Rebel, or not Reb, but Reload, which is another streamer that we work with, and he streams late. So
I am on there sometimes too with them as well.
Yeah, you are on there. But Wednesdays, alternating Fridays, and Saturdays are currently my stream days. Saturdays are usually always going to be fight night with Reload. Wednesdays are usually just me, so they usually start about 6 o'clock. But yeah, I try to get on before by about like 6:30, 7 o'clock to start stream, so that it's always around that time.
Yep.
But yeah, Wednesdays alternating Fridays and Saturdays, and then yeah.
And a lot of times you can catch me out on Saturdays doing fight night and stuff, and then we'll do like group Dead by Daylight streams and shit like that. So
oh God, I love those days. Yeah, that was
last night.
Yesterday, last night. Yeah, last night we had a big old party with XGP and Jacant and C and Reb here, and we played some Dead by Daylight. If you guys want to check out that video, it's up on the Facebook and the YouTube.
Well, all right, man. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hang out real quick after I stop the video so we can chat a little bit more afterwards.
I'm just going to dip the fuck out. Fuck that shit.
Fucking die. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to keep things light rebellious, and we'll see you guys in the next video.